The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
When Philadelphia was coined the city of brotherly love, I don't think Cain and Abel were the brothers they were referring to. But it seems, if you look at the major crimes in this fair city, they're increasing. The latest Pew report indicates that the number of major crimes, which is the combined tally of violent crime and property crime, has now reached a 20-year high. I was deeply moved by the testimony of Ms. O'Connor, Ms. Fitzgerald, and Dr. Fitzgerald, and I was stricken and a bit insulted that my previous colleague made mention of this as a circus, as you're here to hopefully lend greater understanding to policymakers about how to make death and violence less likely. Ms. Fitzgerald, your testimony almost brought Mr. Biggs and I to tears. We are sympathetic criers. But what was it like hearing Ms. Scanlon describe this as a circus?
We certainly aren't circus animals. We are people. I'm born and raised in this city. My entire family is here, and this city is suffering.
How did you feel, Dr. Fitzgerald?
We just met this morning, Ms. Scanlon. However, and with all due respect, we aren't circus animals. My wife, my daughter-in-law, that are here because we've suffered tremendous pain, as you suffered when you were carjacked. I remember reading that article. So I keep very much in tune with what's going on here in the city. We have generations of Fitzgeralds, Marreros, that give back to this city. Her brother-in-law commutes back and forth from the county into the city to the poorest section of this city to give out food to, I'm sorry, your brother, excuse me. But my point being, we have a vested interest in care, and we wouldn't be used as circus animals. We're telling a story, and we're smart enough to be intent enough to communicate properly and share what we feel and what our family feels. Again, we didn't move here. We were born and raised here. We still have tremendous connections with this city, so we get feedback. And it goes back to...
Well, Dr. Fitzgerald, if you don't mind,
yes, sir.
I want to zero in because I was looking at really the election contest for Mr. Krasner, who everyone here, or most folks here, seem to have some objection with, and he won overwhelmingly. And he said in his victory speech, in Philadelphia, this is a movement that has been led by black and brown and broke people and progressives. And if you're black or brown or broke, you better be progressive because there isn't much of an alternative. It seems to me that living would be an alternative, right?
Living is an alternative that is the reality for folks that live in communities like I grew up in West Philadelphia, or in East Division where my wife grew up. These are the neighborhoods that are the poorest. These are the neighborhoods that have most of the gun violence within this city, and these are the ones that no one surveys, that no one talks to, that perhaps one or two representatives from those ends of the communities speak, and they don't necessarily speak for the people on the ground.
Well, I also want to zoom out a little bit, because Mr. Krasner made a remarkable admission in his election victory speech. He said, this is about a movement of progressive prosecutors who have taken office around the country. It is not about us as individuals. So, Ms. O'Connor, I wanted to give you a chance to react to that this dynamic, this soft on crime progressivism, it's not just an isolated circumstance in one area, but the DAs who are doing these policies, they actually see themselves as part of a broader movement to impact the whole country this way. What's your reaction to that?
I'm going to try to keep it nice. I think people are delusional. There is no one here in this room that can come at me with any of the facts about Jim's job. These guys are all lengthy past criminals. How can somebody not understand what's going on, that these men, my husband could still be here today if these men were prosecuted the way they should have been and been behind bars over multiple, these guys have, combined 8 to 10 murders underneath of them. It's insane. They have been let out, and they know this. These are not, when people are killed in Philadelphia, people just can't wait to see the rap sheet of the person that did the shooting and how many times they have been let out. It is ridiculous. My son is a police officer. He has locked someone up who laughed in his face and said, I will be out in a few hours. He was right. And our district attorney, oh my God, my son was in the police academy, and this man came up to him as he was standing around the hero wall. And he said, how you doing there, sir? And my son looked at him like, are you crazy? He said, how am I doing? That's my father on the wall right there. And Larry couldn't even look at him and just turned away. Like, the policy is, everything is totally out of control. And people that respect this man or want to vote for him, let it happen to your family, and then you'll see how you'll feel about everybody walking free and what goes on in this city. I see what the police officers go through. They are scared to do their job. You have nobody going into the academy. Why would they? He is looking to prosecute the police more than keep people in jail where they should be. It's ridiculous.
Mr. Chairman, I see my time has expired, but I just wanted to thank all of the witnesses and certainly express my appreciation for the hearing and my understanding that this is no circus. This is a very serious endeavor that is life or death, and I yield back.
Chair recognizes the gentleman goes back. Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And